This is Ludwig. Well, actually, this is Ludwig. Well, they're kind of both Ludwig here. This is Ludwig along with his Steam profile. Now, Ludwig has a series on his channel called Bros vs. Pros, where he takes him and two of his friends and faces up against a professional player. Now, this time they're going against Tarek, someone they've went against in the past year. This time it's a little different. He's on YouTube as he just started a YouTube contract that is not super normal for him considering he was on Twitch for a very long time. Now, he decided to open up some CSGO cases before he actually hopped into his games versus Tarek here, and this is where the very interesting part comes in. Now, you've probably seen how his first case went.
And then the blue is all mid. So why don't we just get the yellow thing then? Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! What the heck?
He unboxed an M9 factory new marble fade. Now, this is a very expensive knife, and considering he was opening up a Chroma 2 case, this is one of the better outcomes. In my opinion, this is almost one of the best outcomes. Now, CSGO Stash lists this knife as the second most expensive knife. However, that's not including specialty finishes, talking about those sapphires and rubies, particularly for the Doppler here. That means this is not the second best knife he could unbox behind the marble fade. It's actually a little bit lower down the list, but overall speaking, it's still one of the best knives you can unbox, and especially in that factory new form, the marble fade M9 goes for over $1,000 on Steam. Well, Ludwig definitely did make a couple mistakes here. First up, he tried to use the key that he bought on the Steam community market, and he succeeded in doing so and cost himself 4 times the actual price to open that case, costing him about $11 to open the case instead of just around $3. The second big mistake he made was thinking that one key was going to open up more than one case here.
You need to buy 10 keys? What? Okay. Is this gonna be a dumb question? If it's the same key for all the boxes, why not just use one key for all the boxes?
It does seem, however, that Ludwig knows a thing or two about CSGO, mentioning that he got his cases from CSGOgambling.com.
Where'd you get the CSGO case? It's called CSGOgambling.com. I've heard it's cool. I have no ownership in the company.
Most likely a little bit of a reference to T. Martin there and him not explicitly stating that he owned a CSGO gambling website while continuing to promote that same gambling website to his audience.
And we found this new site called CSGO Lotto, so I'll link it down in the description.
Now, after Ludwig was done opening up his first 11 Chroma cases, he decided he was going to move on to something else. Now, I just want to say, the fact that he was able to open up a knife on his first case is already extremely rare. There's not many things in CSGO that are very commonly going to happen, and this is not one of them. Odds 1 in 384, so definitely not rare, but it's definitely not super common either. But what he decided to do when he opened up his first clutch case pretty much blows that out of the water. He decided he was going to open up a StatTrak Red here, which is 4 times rarer than the knife he just opened up.
That was a terrible Jerry Seinfeld. All right, we're in it. So what is the thing that I want? Oh, this seems good. Neo Noir StatTrak.
Now, I already mentioned the odds of getting a knife in CSGO is 1 in 384. This is definitely a rare occurrence, don't get me wrong, but the odds of getting a StatTrak Red are 1 in 1,536. Just to put that into perspective a little bit, say you were to open up 1,000 CSGO cases. This is a lot of cases here. This is over $2,500 USD just in keys alone, no cases, no taxes. You would have a 52.1% chance of not getting a StatTrak Red, meaning you've got a less than 50% chance of actually getting a StatTrak Red. That's how rare this item actually is to get, and the fact that he was able to open up on his first case for the clutch case, the first case where this is possible, is absolutely crazy, especially coming from the fact that he just opened up a CSGO knife, a 1 in 384 chance to actually open up that. The fact that he was able to hit 2 of these super low outcome probabilities back to back nearly, in my opinion, this is about as close as you're going to get back to back when you're talking about a big popular identity entity such as Ludwig here is absolutely crazy. Now the odds I'm using for all of this are coming from Anomaly's video CSGO case odds released, where I believe he uses the perfect world odds to basically say that these CSGO cases we have everywhere else are the same. So that's provided that that information is correct right there, which I think is pretty much overall accepted by almost everyone as being the correct odds, especially since you've got your stat track being a 10% chance and everything just works out very nicely, and it seems that Valve does a lot of other things this way as well. Now Anomaly also uses a great visual to just show you how often you are not going to be getting a knife in CSGO. It's on screen right now. It's one of the better looking visuals. It's a pie chart here, and you can really just see how slim your chances are to hit that gold. It's almost just like a sliver on your screen here, and the fact that he was able to hit one of those golds, and then imagine something that's a fourth the size of that next to it, he was hitting that as well. Now the thing I really dislike about statistics is when you take two independent events and multiply them together to see their odds of happening, it's going to be coming out extremely small either way. That's because there's just so many different ways you could go. Say I was to multiply that 0.25-ish percentage by a fourth of that, we're going to end up with a number that looks like this. Now this is a super small decimal, and that comes out to 1 over 589,824. Now this is a very wrong number. This is not the odds of that happening, because there's a lot of different factors here that aren't included. One of them is the 10 cases in between these things happening. This was his 12th case he opened up to get the stat track read, and the one that he opened up first was the knife, meaning there was 10 cases in between there that he got blues and purples. Nothing out of the ordinary there. And this is what happens when you take some events that are super small chance and multiply them together. It's how you can manipulate statistics on people who don't truly understand what's going on here to make it seem like the event was a very low chance, which it definitely was. But that really low chance doesn't seem too crazy when I tell you that your odds of getting 100 blues is 1 over 5.4 billion. Now this is also incorrect using that same logic from previously stated. This is basically saying that these events are exactly back to back to back to back, which I know I mentioned it was kind of back to back. When we're talking about using this type of statistic, it is not actually back to back, which is what this type of statistic is relying off of here. If you were to get 100 blues in a row, this is what the odds would be, 1 over 5.4 billion, showing just how unlikely it is for that 80% chance roughly to hit every time. And that's what's extremely wrong with the logic I was using before to try and reiterate the point that this is definitely uncommon and something that is quite rare, but it's not as rare as some people are going to incorrectly state it is. Now CSGO in general has started to pick up a little bit, especially with this content creator Ludwig and a lot of other content creators such as XQC starting to open up some CSGO cases more and more regularly again. It's something we saw back in the 2017-ish era, and it started to fade away for a significant amount of time, but it seems that it might be creating some sort of a resurgence now, which is definitely good for the game overall. It's definitely good for you if you've got money invested into CSGO, and it's definitely good because it's bringing a significant amount of new players to the game, which is something that the game, especially CSGO after being almost 10 years old, definitely needs. But that's really all I have for today, guys. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.